Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
Did you hear the story about the woman who says her 101-year-old grandfather killed 6 people right in front of her? Sabrina Capper, whose grandfather, J.D. Patton, is a World War II veteran who was recently in the news after celebrating his 100th birthday. But Sabrina says her grandfather should not be celebrated because he's a serial killer. Sabrina's grandfather is now 101 years old and he's on his deathbed, and Sabrina went to confront him about his past. She specifically remembers the summer of 1992 when she went to visit her grandparents in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and she met 2 little black boys who were neighbors nearby. Sabrina says that after having a great time playing with these little boys, when she went home, her grandfather took her and locked her in the trunk of his car and drove her out to the woods. There he led her to what seemed to be a chop house for slaughtering. When she walked in, she saw those 2 little boys chopped to pieces laying on a table. Sabrina says she'll never forget the image of the young boy's blood dripping onto the floor. But it took her more than 40 years to get up the courage to say something. Sabrina says she doesn't know the names of these boys or any of the other victims. She's finally speaking out because she says she wants those with missing family members in Tulsa, Oklahoma from the 80s and 90s to finally find peace if they are connected to these crimes. Although these acts are unthinkable to the majority of us, Sabrina says she was never surprised by her grandfather's actions.
When I was 4, my grandfather made a deal with me. If I would be a good girl and do as I was told, they would never cut up my daddy in front of me. Monsters are made, and this is generational. This is how people in my family have operated for a long time. It's been so long that I've been quiet, and I'm just not gonna do that anymore.
Sabrina is now writing a book about her experiences and sharing her stories publicly as her grandfather, J.D. Patton, lies on his deathbed. I'm Tiarka with the T. Follow for more.
That is quite the accusation to make against your 101-year-old grandfather. I don't know if this one's true or not, but I would say it's certainly worth investigating. It looks like no matter what they find out that he did, that guy's going to get away with it all. They're not going to charge a 101-year-old man with anything and lock him up.
I have to get this out before I forget it. Missouri is currently preparing for an earthquake drill, a massive earthquake drill for an 8.4 magnitude potential earthquake, right? Well, you know how the law of the universe requires them to tell us what they're going to do before they do it. They have to put it out there because they are not creative. So they have to put the information out there and tell us what they're going to do and hide it in plain sight. Because if they don't, that karma going to eat that up. And even more so, it won't happen because, again, they're not part of the collective. They're not part of the consciousness. They have no souls. So they have no creativity. So in order for them to create events or create things to happen, they have to put it in our minds first. So tell me why. A couple of weeks ago, I noticed that there was this movie about my hometown, St. Louis, Missouri, on Tubi. And I was like, what is this? I ain't gonna hold you, I didn't watch all of it. 2 minutes in, I learned this is a movie about an earthquake splitting the continental U.S. into 2 parts. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but like I said, Missouri is currently preparing for an 8.4 magnitude earthquake, a potential earthquake that could potentially be happening, that for whatever reason they had to bring out the American military, the National Guard, to handle a potential accident. With that being said, what I wanted to come over here and tell you is what I believe is really going on. They're getting rid of evidence. In a previous video or several previous videos, I've explained that America is ancient Egypt and that specifically the Mississippi River is the true Nile River. And I specifically highlighted the cities that currently and have always sat on the Mississippi River: Thebes, Alexandria, Cairo, all of these places, right? You know Missouri sits right on the Mississippi River, right where the Gateway Arch is, right? And if you are a true critical thinker and a true deep diver, then you have already done your research on Tartaria and how they have gotten rid of historical evidence by creating these natural disasters, earthquake, tornadoes, fires, and then rewriting history and acting like things never happened, right? What if this earthquake that's going to happen on the Madrid fault line that goes straight through the Midwest and conveniently straight through where the Mississippi River is? What if they're trying to get rid of ancient artifacts, ancient information, ancient downloads, underground information, underground tunnels, buildings, architecture, everything, to rewrite history or to not have us access the truth. I'm just saying. Don't trust anybody and question everything.
I'm not sure that I buy into the theory of the U.S. being ancient Egypt. There's absolutely some good evidence that points in that direction, but I simply haven't seen enough yet to completely convince me. That being said, this earthquake that they think is coming is actually long overdue to go off. I used to work for a nursing home here in the state of Kentucky, and I was in charge of the emergency situation planning. The facility sent me to a 3-day training course one time that was all about this fault line and how they expect it to go off at any minute because it's over 100 years past due. The one big takeaway that I got from that training course was that when things do go off, they expect the city of Memphis to completely sink and all of the emergency services will be directed over there. Most of the smaller towns that are affected are going to be essentially left to fend for themselves just because the cities are going to need so much more assistance, and that's actually in the plan. Ignore the small towns and help the cities.
Venezuela, by the way, has the lowest murder rate ever right now. What does that tell you?
Yeah, all the murderers are gone.
We're here.
Yeah. So is it true that they're emptying prisons? I mean, is this
not
Cuba all over again?
This is not a hearsay. There was a memo by DHS last year admitting that, in fact, they knew that Venezuela's government was emptying their prison and rehabilitation centers or drug centers, releasing them on purpose because they knew with instructions to make, if you were going to get out, you're going to make your way to the U.S. That is not, we're not making that up. That's true. It was reported on, and DHS admitted that was happening, and in fact it has. El Tren de Aragua is heavily present in our country now.
Okay, so you're telling me that DHS has acknowledged that Venezuela, for example, is emptying their prisons and their rehabilitation centers with the understanding you get out if you leave here and go to the United States?
Yes.
And DHS has, in writing, said, we know that's happening, we know they're coming here, we're processing them in and have no idea where they are.
Correct.
How many people are we talking about?
Millions. In just Venezuela alone.
We're talking about, in the last 2 or 3 years, we've had estimated how many people have come across the border.
My estimation, the official number I think is about 10 million.
Yeah, it's about 10, 11 million.
Yeah,
that's the official.
But my personal opinion, I think we're about 15 to 18 million.
They certainly aren't sending us their best and brightest. I know this is a political topic to some people, but I feel like this is something that every American should be up in arms about. It's not a problem that we have people that want to come live in the United States. We get it. It's awesome here. I'm sure that most people would like to at least come and visit the United States. It's a great place. The problem is in the quality of the people that are pouring in. Allowing in refugees shouldn't mean that you have to accept a lower sense of safety. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and you like this kind of content, I put out a new one just like it every day, Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. It would be awesome if you'd hit that subscribe button and come back tomorrow to join me. Also, don't forget to check out the podcast so you can hear some personal paranormal experiences. Link is in the description.
Watch the curse that hit Celine Dion after she did this. She's walking into a nursery with newborn babies with normal genders. So she blows demon dust on them, and all of a sudden, they're gender neutral. So she's running from the cops, but she looks into the camera with an evil grin. Yep, it's a commercial for her gender-neutral clothing line with satanic imagery. And let's put them on children? So protect your kids, grandkids, your nieces, nephews from these curses. Now see what happened. Today she's suffering from
the incurable disease.
And ironically, she has lost her singing voice. Is this coincidence? In Deuteronomy 28, God says he sends incurable diseases to the disobedient, those who lead children astray. Don't mock God, or else this could happen. So pray for Celine Dion's healing, that she sees the truth and repents. If you agree, type amen and subscribe for more Jesus videos.
This is going to make me sound like a fruit. But I am a massive Celine Dion fan. I think she has one of the most beautiful voices in the industry. That being said, when I saw this clothing line stuff that she's working on, kind of made me sick. I was immediately reminded of the age difference between her and her husband and thought, well, maybe she has some messed up ideas in regards to the age of consent. I don't know that I believe that her new illness is a direct result of her actions, but it certainly seems like she's paying the price or being punished for something. That disease she's dealing with looks completely debilitating. I hate to see anyone in that state, and I hope she gets better, but I also hope she has to answer for that huge red flag of an ad campaign that she put out.
I do believe it was Shakespeare who said, "All the world is a stage, and the people in it merely play. Roll the tape."
That great, right? I just pulled it. What do you stand away from that water? Oh, he's in great shape. I think.
There it is. There it is. Did you catch it? Did you catch it? Let me move out of the way. Take a close look. Something is not right now with this image. I don't get it. It's not making sense. Make it make sense.
What in tarnation?
Oh, you made the mistake of believing them when they said that he was shot in the air. Welcome to the show.
Well, that wins the prize for cringiest content on TikTok today. That footage he's showing is actually from Trump's September 2022 visit to Trump National Golf Course in Sterling, Virginia. This was debunked by PolitiFact and a whole host of others. This was actually shared in the Discord, and while I try to stay away from politics, the nature of the presenter's behavior in this one made me feel like I had to post it. I absolutely love seeing people who are so provably wrong about something going on like they're the only smart person in the room. I have no problem with someone posing a question or throwing out a conspiracy theory into the world. I do it constantly. But the delivery from this guy just makes my skin crawl. That guy just exposed himself as a fool, and I find that absolutely hilarious.
No, there's something seriously wrong going on here. Okay, so this is Kamala Harris standing next to Benjamin Netanyahu. Netanyahu obviously taller. Just wait. And similarly, this is Biden standing next to Kamala. Okay, Biden's taller. See, both Biden and Benjamin Netanyahu are both 6 feet tall. They're both 6 feet tall. Now, back in 2020, this is 4 years ago, this is Netanyahu and Biden standing next to each other, both 6 feet tall. Okay, now let's go to July 25th, just a few days ago. Remember, both 6 feet. What? What is going on? You cannot tell me both of these people are the same height. Again, 2020, a few days ago. What?
So this is a new one that's just popped up in the past week or so since Biden dropped out of the run for the White House. There was radio silence on his whereabouts for several days after he dropped out, and then when he does reemerge, he's suddenly a half a foot taller. There's something going on here, and there are a lot more photos like this that I've seen that look even more suspicious than these. And something that jumps out to me even more than the height thing is this weird rubbery smile that he suddenly has. To me personally, it doesn't look like him when he's smiling. All I'm going to say on this one is, if it were to come out a few years from now that Biden was sick or something, and they had a body double doing all these press events for this past week, it wouldn't surprise me in the least bit.
In the vast and often mysterious world of scientific research, few discoveries capture the imagination as profoundly as the concept of entities that exist outside of our realm. Dr. Daniel Nems, a pioneering scientist and researcher, stands at the forefront of this intriguing field. Nems is renowned for his creation of an innovative energy device known as energy vision, which, according to his claims, can photograph these mysterious entities. Dr. Daniel Nems is a scientist with a background in quantum physics and energy research. Nems devoted his career to exploring the intersections of energy, matter, and dimensions beyond our conventional understanding. He soon became fascinated by theories of parallel dimensions and alternate realities. Oddly enough, despite publishing these findings, there is a scarcity of information available on him, and the majority of his work has been wiped from the internet. As a result, some have suggested that shortly after sharing these discoveries, he vanished. Nems' interest in this research was partly inspired by the pioneering work of theoretical physicists who posited the existence of multiple dimensions beyond the familiar three-dimensional space. Driven by curiosity and a desire to push the boundaries of human knowledge, Nems began experimenting with novel energy devices aimed at detecting and interacting with these unseen realms. Energy Vision, the groundbreaking device developed by Daniel Nems, represents the culmination of years of research and experimentation. The device combines principles from quantum mechanics, electromagnetism, and advanced imaging technology to purportedly capture images of entities existing in dimensions parallel to our own. Energy vision consists of a sophisticated array of sensors and emitters that generate and detect specific frequencies of electromagnetic energy. These frequencies are theorized to resonate with the energy signatures of these beings, making them visible to the device's sensors. The captured data is then processed by advanced algorithms to produce visual images, which are displayed on a high-resolution screen. The device operates by emitting a controlled burst of energy into a defined area and then scanning the area for any anomalies in the energy field. According to NEMS, these mysterious beings interact with these energy fields in ways that are detectable by energy vision's sensors. The resulting images reveal shapes and forms that do not correspond to any known physical entities, suggesting the presence of beings from other dimensions. If the device's capabilities are validated, the implications for science and our understanding of the universe would be profound. The ability to photograph these entities would provide tangible evidence for the existence of parallel dimensions, supporting theories that have long been speculative. This breakthrough could revolutionize fields such as physics, cosmology, and even
So this is something new I came across this morning and haven't done any research into it yet, so I don't know how accurate the claims are in the clip or if this guy even existed. But just like the clip says, it's like pulling teeth trying to find any information about this online. I just wanted to ask for my viewers' help in researching this one. If you happen to have heard of this before and have a good source for learning more about it, please drop a link over in the Discord and tag me in it. I would greatly appreciate it.
What a disaster. The Olympics is back, and instead of having all the countries fly in, having friendly competition, getting down to what it is, who wins the gold, who wins the silver, who wins the bronze. No. Instead, they're going to have an opening ceremony with this guy painted like a Smurf and is wrapped in some sort of fruit salad, whilst they recreate Jesus' Last Supper. It's right in your face. It's nice and demonic. It's so unnecessary what goes on in this world. Can we please go back to the time where everybody didn't have to show you and force feed you the fact that they identify giraffe? These people are not sane. Now, not a lot of people are normal, but there's a baseline here, all right? And this guy dressing himself up as the Fifth Element, finger rubbing himself, whatever we got going on here, is not really what needs to be going on, especially when it's on national television and children may be watching. It's insane. Watch this video. YouTube is already taking it down because of the backlash and the comments.
I've gotten comments from people asking what my opinions are on the Olympic opening ceremony. The main reason I haven't touched that one is because they keep demonetizing any video that has clips in it from the opening ceremony. Fingers crossed that I get away with this one. They put this out into the world and it was received the way it should be, with disgust. And now they're doing everything they can to scrub it from the internet and not let anyone talk about it. Clearly this was a huge miscalculation on their part. Personally, I think this was a good thing. I think this shows that they thought the world was much more sick and demented than it actually is. They thought people would enjoy this opening ceremony, and instead the world's rejecting it. Things are looking up.
If Atlantis was Antarctica, and they had such a high level of civilization, right? How high a level? How high a level? Look at the Baalbek platform in Lebanon. The stones in the pyramid, the Great Pyramid, which we still can't figure out how the hell these things were moved and positioned, they're in the hundreds of ton range. The biggest ones are in the hundreds of ton. At Baalbek in Lebanon, there is a platform which consists of 3 1,300 ton stones. They're 1,200 to 300 tons a piece.
Yeah, we've gone over these on the. Can you pull up those Baalbek
And they
monoliths?
are raised on top of a 40-foot platform of smaller megaliths, right? Which, like, who does that? I mean, if you're going to drag stones this big, wouldn't you use them as the foundation course and then put smaller stones on top? No, these people apparently decided to show off by lifting these 1,300 ton stones, these trilithons, and putting them on top of smaller megalithic stones. And again, just like at Giza, just like at Tiwanaku in Bolivia, just like at various sites in Peru.
Look, is that
exactly,
one of them?
Yeah, well, no, look, that one that's just by itself.
The second one in the middle, yeah, with the red lines. Yeah, zoom in on that.
Yes, but Yeah, but I want you to go back to the other one too. Yeah, you can see the scale of a
There you go.
person next to those. Look at the one above there, how small a person is next to those.
Go up.
Yeah, look at that. Look at the scale of that. But if you could go back to that one that was buried.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
okay,
guy?
right there,
That
okay? Now that is in the quarry where these stones came from.
Yeah.
That quarry is 50 miles away from the site.
Yes.
50 miles. How did they take 1,300 ton stone? 19 cranes of the highest industrial grade that we have today can't lift and move one of these. They've done the engineering calculations. How did they move that thing 50 miles? You know why that's buried there? Because they wanted to tell us that that's where the quarry was, and that they've somehow managed to move that stone 50 miles to build the platform at Baalbek. All right, here's my point. That gives you a sense of the level of engineering capability of this civilization. It's beyond ours.
Way beyond ours.
Way beyond ours.
The problem is there's no saw blades or toasters or anything in the desert out there.
And there's no large-scale evidence for this civilization other than these megalithic structures.
Nothing.
In various places in the world. You know where I think there's going to be a jackpot of a plethora of evidence for it? Under the ice of Antarctica. And here's where I'm going with this. If you're a civilization that advanced, why do you isolate yourself to Antarctica? Why would you do that?
Right.
You tell me. Any thoughts why you would do something like that?
Why you would
have this
isolate
level,
yourself?
Yeah, you have this level of technology, right? And after the cataclysm, you go around the world and you build these various megalithic sites, which leave a record of the level of your technical achievement.
How do we know it was after the cataclysm?
Well, we know Giza was after the cataclysm.
We do?
Yeah, I mean, the ground plan dates to 10,500 BC. And if you line that up with Plato, and you line it up with the end of the Ice Age and the massive flooding, it's just after that cataclysm that site was built. Also...
You're talking about the Great Pyramid?
Yes. Well, the three pyramids and the Sphinx, and there are other structures like the Osirian at Abydos in Egypt that are all in the same style. They're all in this anonymous, high-precision megalithic style.
Can someone tell me this guy's name down in the comments? We've seen a shorter version of this clip on the channel before, and I've been seeing a lot of clips of this guy recently, but have no idea who he is or what his qualifications are. This is the guy from a couple weeks ago that was talking about the possibility of an advanced race living underground and hiding there from the rest of civilization. I really like that idea and would love to see if this guy has any books or anything that he's put out explaining that theory in greater detail. If anybody can give me this guy's name, I would greatly appreciate it. And there's your one good clip of the day. That's not something you see very often. Police taking their uniforms off and joining in with the protesters. Looks like there are some good cops left in that country. But guys and gals, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right there. I hope you enjoyed these clips we watched together today. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. I hope you come back to join me. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And check out www.barry-stepp.com if you'd like to order yourself a shirt or a hat. It helps me support the channel, and I greatly appreciate anyone who's ordered anything off of there so far. Also, don't forget to post your photos of your merch over in the Discord to get your photo in a video. But with all that out of the way, I hope everyone has a great, safe, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all tomorrow.